and welcome back. A 101 exclusive interview with Bianca Ray at the Ray Hope Retreat for the second time. We'll show you a sneak peek before the premiere of the exclusive interview. Helpful storms. California easing up on water restrictions after recent storms. Speaking out. Former Fox News producer Abby Grossberg calls the network a big corporate machine that destroys people. And it has happened again. Yes, another mass shooting in a school has killed 6 people in Nashville, Tennessee. And that's the story we start off with. I'm Anthony Martinez. It's not a good day, it's not a good week, as once again we're having another mass shooting in this country that has happened now in a school in Nashville, Tennessee that has killed 6 people and the gunman. 3 of them were children and 3 of them were adults at that school. Police received a call about the active shooter at the school around 10:15 a.m. on Monday. Authorities say that 15 minutes after they called police, they said the shooter was dead. The remaining students were transported to a safe location to be reunited with their parents. The website of the school says the school was founded in 2001. Listed Katrina as the head of the school, who was one of the victims. Her LinkedIn profile says she had led the school since July of 2016. We lost 3 children and 3 adults that day, again from one of those massacres. Now we're going to show you a few clips of local reporters in the news stations in Nashville that day. Take a look.
Yeah, there's absolutely no words for what's going on today. I'm actually a school shooting survivor myself. It happened years ago. I was in 8th grade, and all of this is it's just flooding back flashbacks for me and what I went through with my classmates. I was actually in the hallway during break when the gunman opened fire, shooting one of my peers and killing them, and just after hearing the gunshots, I just knew to run and hide. I hid underneath the risers in my choir class, and those minutes and hours of waiting to be released by police officers, that just felt like a lifetime.
We're hearing from their administrators, letting them know that they are okay and that they are monitoring the situation closely. Holly, Amanda?
Yeah, speaking of that, I'm getting emails from my child's school that they're going into lockdown at this time just as a precaution, and that one of my other children's schools is working with security to make sure that they've got everything safe.
It's going to be okay. All right.
So in the first clip, you see the NBC-affiliated station telling her story of when she survived the school shooting back in 2010. It is just so sad to see that a student survived the mass shooting. Years later, grew up to become a reporter and was on duty and had to report that story that day, and had to see and feel what she went through during a mass shooting. Because these mass shootings are more common. I mean, they shouldn't be that common, but they're more common. In the second clip, you see raw emotion from the anchor. But as a parent, to know their kid's school had to go into a lockdown as a safety precaution, as the danger was so big. Although the shooting wasn't in that anchor's son's school, they had to take all the safety measures, because who knows, anything could happen. Here we are showing you a local anchor whose mother-in-law was the front desk lady. Take a look.
Now with Hannah, and I understand you've been given a message.
Yeah, so I wanted to make sure it was okay with her before I talked about her experience. My mother-in-law is the front desk angel.
For sure.
She is, and she was at the school this morning. However, Diana was able to come out of this safe. She actually stepped away to take a break. I mean, and that is why right now I am I'm torn.
Sure, it probably could have saved her life that she stepped away.
Correct.
Luckily, her mother had left before the shooting. And, you know, as you saw, it said it was a miracle. That's what saved your life. And also, just a few days before the shooting in Nashville, a student shot two administrators, and this Fox News reporter got emotional after her own son was in that school. Although the shooting wasn't towards any students, and no students were injured except the two administrators, it's still a scary situation, especially knowing these mass shootings happen way more commonly, as I mentioned earlier. So now we're going to play you the clip.
Sandra, that is so encouraging to hear as a parent. Excuse me, my son just came up and I had not seen him. Come up here. So I'm sorry, I've not seen my kid since this all went down. So hey, just really, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Okay. I just finishing this real quick, okay? Okay, all right, okay. Are you good? Okay, I'm so sorry. There's no way you would have let your kid walk by.
Alicia, if you need to step aside, please do.
So, okay. He's okay. He's good. You good? Okay. He's good. But yeah, he's the one who was telling me what was happening. And my sister telling me what her daughter was telling her.
As you saw, the reporter said that her main source for the information was her own son, who again was in that school. And now, this mother, who was on vacation in Nashville during the mass shooting at the school, spoke after police gave a press conference about how she survived the shooting at Highland Park, Illinois, back in July of 2022, and only came to Nashville for vacation to see her sister, and had to see another shooting occur.
Aren't you guys tired of being here and having to cover all of these mass shootings? I'm from Highland Park, Illinois. My son and I survived a mass shooting over the summer. I am in Tennessee on a family vacation with my son, visiting my sister-in-law. I have been lobbying in D.C. since we survived a mass shooting in July. I have met with over 130 lawmakers. How is this still happening? How are our children still dying, and why are we failing them? Gun violence is the #1 killer of children and teens. It has overtaken cars. Assault weapons are contributing to the border crisis and fentanyl. We are arming cartels with our guns and our loose gun laws, and these shootings and these mass shootings will continue to happen until our lawmakers step up and pass gun safety legislation. Aren't you guys tired of this? Are you guys sick of it? We have to do something. We'll all have to call our lawmakers, and we all have to make our lawmakers make change now, or this is going to keep happening, and it's going to be your kid and your kid and your kid and your kid next, because it's just a matter of time.
But there's more. Here, there's a student there have been students who have survived multiple shootings. It's very sad to hear that they have to survive multiple shootings. For example, Emma Riddle, who, as I'm looking, she sent these texts saying as they read, she was hiding under her desk while the MSU shooting was her roommate. She told her father to pray and that she loved him. But it also reads this: I never thought I would ever have to go through this again. End quote. Never thought she had to go through this again. Again, these shootings are way more common, that students and people are rounded up in multiple shootings throughout their lifespan. Emma survived her shooting in her high school 15 months before the MSU shooting. Then 15 months later was also in the MSU shooting that ended up killing 3 people and injuring 8. Now for a sincere, serious talk. When is enough yet? When the classrooms are where we and your children enter to not only be taught, but supposed to be a safe environment, but yet we're seeing a lot of young students and also staff members being killed because of these mass shootings. This has become the leading cause of death. It has taken over car crashes in the past few years. Why do teachers have to worry of this kind of event to ever happen at any moment? And if it does, Their minds are going on how to protect the children and doing everything in their power to protect them. Why do teachers have to make sure their classrooms are safe from that kind of danger? Why do these students have to go to school and many of them have to worry of an event like this ever happening in their school? Teachers are there to teach the students, but it's disgusting and horrifying. They could give up their life to save the children in case of any of this kind to ever happen. These students are more aware of this being more common as teachers and schools have to train them as a safety precaution, knowing these are big risks when you enter those buildings. We keep hearing sorry, sorry, sorry. But when is the sorry gonna make a change? Because that's not making a single change to avoid these massacres and avoid these mass shootings. We need to continue to speak up until we hear and see a big change and lower those numbers of not only mass shootings in schools but also, in stores and other places. Why are we so focused on banning bugs and banning an app? While bugs aren't killing children, while apps aren't killing as much children as mass shootings. Why are we spending hours fighting about which books should go into the classroom, which books shouldn't? Why aren't we fighting about when are guns gonna be banned and when are we gonna make a change? Ban guns, not books. And let's make a difference. Because we haven't seen change. We haven't seen any real change happen. Not at all. Not real change at all. We shouldn't be living in fear of entering a classroom and maybe someday losing our lives, whether it's a student who thinks that or whether that's a teacher or a staff who thinks that entering the building every single day. We need to change this because it can't happen anymore. We can't be losing staff and children in these mass shootings. Innocent children and staff. And now we'll continue the show and we're moving on to our next story where I need to breathe. We're moving to our next story. Former Fox News producer Abby Grossberg calls the network a big corporate machine that destroys people. Take a look. Abby Grossberg, who joined the Fox News network in 2019 as a senior booking producer, is now speaking out. Over the 4 years, she tried and failed to get promoted. He then switched to work with Tucker Carlson. Abby says she ran up against a culture in which walls were plastered with photos of Nancy Pelosi in a plunging bathing suit and male staffers openly debating which politician they would rather have sex with. In quote, "They're a big corporation machine that destroys people," she told NBC News in an exclusive interview. "I sat in those meetings. I heard them laugh about tearing up politicians. Now I know that in those meetings, they're talking about me," she also said. A network spokesperson previously said that Abby's legal claims were riddled with false allegations against Fox and their employees. The spokesman did not specify which allegations the networks believe to be false. Fox News is accused of repeatedly airing false allegations of the voting machine company rigged the 2020 election in favor of Joe Biden and other topics. Jury selection for the trial is scheduled to begin April 13th. At one point, Abby says she received a text message from her boss that she is paraphrasing as saying, "You could let Maria know there will be no fact checking today. She can do whatever she wants. Go wild." Abby sues Fox News in Delaware and New York on March 20th. Abby says she's in a better place now. She hopes her story will inspire others in similar situations to speak up. And California is easing the water restrictions after the recent storms. The recent rain and snowfall in California have literally dramatically changed from October of last year to now. The conditions in many parts of the state. On Friday, Governor Gavin Newsom eased out the emergency water restrictions as the water from the snowstorms and the rain have dramatically changed the whole state. The main change following Newsom's announcement in the state will not require water agents to be at level 2 of the water shortage plan. Also, the governor is no longer calling on residents to cut water by 15%. If you didn't know, the current level 2 restrictions include no sprinkling irrigation during daylight hours, and restaurants to provide water when only guests ask for it. And lastly, we headed out again to the 9th Annual Ray of Hope Retreat, and we went again on a one-on-one exclusive interview with Bianca Ray to talk more about her foundation and also about how her career as a journalist has impacted and has connected with her foundation. Take a look.
I mean, when I hear you say those words out loud, it's funny. I see the signage, 9th annual, and then when I hear someone say it just is remarkable to think we started this almost a decade ago, and it was, hard to get kids to attend, and now it's just through the roofs, and we have so many people wanting to be here, and that just warms my heart because that means kids hear about it and feel the change that they experience after coming here, and they are impacted by the day. So I just feel so proud of our team that it's been almost a decade. Thank you for asking. Yeah, so we're so grateful for Desert Sands Unified School District and the Extended Learning Opportunity Program for allowing us to have these retreats. It's just been a remarkable. G&M Oil Company, I have to tell you, they're a local oil company. They own hundreds of gas stations here in Southern California, and the owner is a friend of mine, and she's somebody who's just loved and supported and believed in the Bianca Ray Foundation since the very beginning. So she was like our first ever sponsor, Marcella and George Pearson. The fact that they believed in the foundation then just makes it even the more special now that they get to see this is truly, an outcome of a result of their donations for a decade.
How many about your career? Tell me, how has your career impacted the Bianca Ray Foundation?
Honestly, I've met so many people throughout my career that have become a part of the foundation, people that I've brought in after interviewing them as speakers, as people to inspire the kids themselves. My career has put me in a world of influential people, right? And oftentimes people with those resources want to help and want to give back. And I feel like I'm proud of myself, honestly, the way that I've been able to marry my career and my nonprofit. And the bigger my career grew and the more people I meet, I use that to help these kids.
And the full interview premieres tonight at 6 p.m. only on the RightNow News Network. You're able to watch it at bit.ly/news right now. That's where you get to watch the full interview and see more. And that's all the time we have for you today. I'm Anthony Martinez with RightNow News, and I'll see you next time. Visit us on social media _RightNow News and our website at bit.ly/news right now.